Hello and welcome to the channel. Elpico AC55. This amplifier is from around the late 50s, early 60s. It used to be green, like a surf foam green. You can just about see down here, but at some point it's been painted black. So let's just have a look on here. Just pop it back a bit. So you can see we've got some interesting controls on this. Mic 1, mic 2, gram, bass and treble we've got there. Nice carrying handle. And we'll have a look at the back. Now this one's different to the ones that I've seen on the internet. It's got some contraption here which I suspect could be some kind of top cut or something, I don't know. This is original, this socket in the chassis. Here, mains cable is inside there. I think we've got a large hinge here. And to get the back off of this, you simply just turn those metal doofers there and it slides out like so. So we can see inside there we've got an ECC83, two EL84s, one's like a tongue's ram, I can't remember that, taking it out looking, and then we've got Pinnacle there, and that is the rectifier tube you can see, which looks like either a EZ80, EZ81. Elliptical speaker you can see, and that is an ELAC elliptical speaker there. So this amp's supposed to run but has no output, but it's this that intrigues me. This, it looks like it's been fitted from factory, but we'll have to look at that because it says on here model AC. You can see the paint's just crumbled off over the years, so the model number was actually on there. So the preamp section of this amp and the output section are on different chassis, you can see. So we need to get this plugged in and see if it works. Let's just pop him down on his face so we can see inside a little more there. So you can see in there, that speaker all looks in good order, but whether it is or not, got a PC board here. You can see just protruding out of there. Not sure what we'll find when we get into the bottom there. Socket here, not sure what that is. Right, let's get this on the current limiter. Right, quick check of the plug. We've got the 3 amp fuse in, so that's good. Could even do a little bit less than that in this amp, but that'll be fine. We'll have to look at that just to see if there's any other fuses in this amp. If not, we'll probably reduce that. Right, plug it in. So we've got it on the current limiter. I'm going to leave it face down for the time being, so we can keep a much better eye on what's happening. So let's flick it on. Bulb's lit. Nice cobweb there. Bulb's dimmed off now. And we've got 140 volts going into it. And that's slowly increasing. So we've got some So that tells us the speaker's good. days. That's a dusty old switch. Oh, I can hear a signal. Let's put another bulb in. I've got 80 watts now, which will be, and the bulbs are really dim now. Oh, we've got some output. Need to get a schematic for this amp. Yes, I think that's some kind of top cut. Oh no, it's a tremolo. Yeah, it's a tremolo fit unit. Well, we've only got 150 volts going into that off the wall like that, and we've already got sound. So that's a tremolo, so all is revealed. And you can actually see the current limiter lights just flickering with that. We'll just put in a slightly bigger bulb. So now we've got 100 watts of limiting. Let's brought the voltage up a little bit more. There we go, 120 watts of bulbs now, and that's giving us 180 volts. So to be a bit careful with this amp because it's quite old, and we'll just keep it on the current limiter. You can hear some background hum as well. Oh yes, the capacitors. My days. If we turn that round, this is why we need to keep it on the limiter. It's got quite a lot of background hum. So we've got about 180 volts going into it now, 180, just shy of. Let's give it another 40, madam. So we've got 160 watts of bulbs in now, and that's took us up to just shy of 200 volts, about 195 volts. And you can hear that humming's coming up quite a bit now on the right, so that's 200 watts of limiting. And that's took us about 206 volts. That should be enough for what we need for testing this. It's more than enough. Right, let's get a lead and see if we've got any signal. My word, those caps are tired. So we've got nothing on mic 1. Try mic 2. Probably won't have anything. Gram. Nothing. So let's just turn it around. I'm just going to switch the lights out and just see if we have got any filament that's missing. Nice waft of cigarettes coming out of it. Not that cigarettes are particularly nice, but it's that waft that reminds you of when you was young. So the output tubes are lit. Not sure about that 12. I think that 12AX7 at ECC83. I think that is lit. Still makes me jump when I do that for the first time. Let's get the lights on. Yes, we've definitely. So that capacitor, that big can cap at the back, is very tired. I'm guessing, judging by that background noise. Yes, this amplifier is very sick. That is quite hot, that ECC83. Let's see if we've got another one just to drop in there, just to see if we've got any signal. Having to hold it gingerly because I don't want to catch my finger on that EL84, and I almost did then, and you know what that'll be if I do. I should be squealing. No. Oh, we've got a little bit more input than we had before. With that, got something there, but still nothing. Yeah, we've got a little something now. But only a little. Let's try this 12X7 in the tube tester. 9E1, 8 and 3. Let's start off with 8. Let's see if it's any good. We need to get these pins tightened up in this. Well, that looks okay. Let's try 3. Well, that looks okay. No shorts. So we didn't think it was that, but we'll try it all the same. So that's a good tube, and that's one of those Valvo tubes. So that's a very good tube. So yes, let's just assess so far what we've found. Then we've got very low input. We've got a real hum in the background, which tells us that electrolytic is probably on its way out. And we've got problems with that. Now when we turn that, it's quite loud, so that tells us that the output stage is probably okay-ish on this amp. I mean, we may have some leaking capacitors and things, but it tells us that the fault is on the preamp stage, and may well be something to do with this, if this has been patched in Depends where they wired this in. So we are getting some. I wonder, I mean, there could be a tube in there. Who knows? A lot of wires going in there, look, so could well be. There's actually a plug for that on the chassis, I've just noticed. If we look at the back, you can't see that, but there's actually a plug to plug that in. So we've got a very low input. And I've also got some radio frequencies going on in there as well. Right, let's turn it off. So it's very sick indeed. So let's have a look at this CAN capacitor then in the back there. As you can see, he's one of those riveted on the Bakelite plate type capacitors. We can't see what that actually is as well without removing this chassis. Right, so we've got some more preamp tubes under this, which are going to be under here, and I can actually feel one of those, I think, inside. I think, I'm not sure. Yep, there's one. So there's more preamp tubes in there, obviously, because that'll be the phase inverter down here we've got. But I thought we'd check that. So yes, it's definitely something under here. Now there is some screws here which are absolutely shot to ribbons. Someone's used the wrong screwdriver and these and absolutely eaten them. Let's have a look at those. Oh, they're bolts. You can see that one has been chewed up badly with the wrong screwdriver at some time. Right, let's see what else is holding this in. Is that the handle that's holding the rest of that in? It may well be, you know. I think that could be the handle that's holding those in. It is. I can see the chassis coming looser. Ew. It's a bit of a pain, isn't it? So I think we've got to take off that knob to get this out, because unless now, I probably think if that tremolo thing wasn't in there, we'd get that out, but I think we've got to take that knob off. Right, so we've got that out, and to get that out you have to take out the tremolo unit. So you can't you can't get that out without taking out the trem unit. So we've got these two tubes here, these two mallards, my word. So we've got these plastic capacitors here, you can bet they're shot, no question. Oh, what's that? That doesn't look very oh, is that disconnected there? That cap? That doesn't look very healthy, does it? It's not disconnected, but it doesn't look very healthy. Probably can't see that on camera, it's too far away, but right, let's just turn the lights out, see if we've got any filament glow on those. Don't see any on, can't really see on those. That tube does feel cold though. Let's try this one in there. That one's warm. Very strange metallic sound going on there. Let's just reduce one of the current limiter bulbs. This tube is cold again. See any filament glow? Oh, I do, yeah. So the amp's not particularly shot to life by changing that, and you can see by taking it out it's made no difference either. So I think we're not looking at a tube fault here. There. So no, it's not a tube fault. Let's just whip this in the tube tester while we've got them out. Let's have a look. You can see he's a lumberjack and he's okay. Yep, and he's good. So there's nothing wrong with him. Well, at least with low voltage on it anyway, because that's all you'll get from this tube tester. And you can see that one's a good one. Go to 3. Oh, well, that's not good. Right, so we've got one good side and one dead side. So let's just have a look at the pins. They don't look filthy particularly. we're away. So I think that's just dirty pins on that, so that's okay. I want to say I couldn't see how that would be. So yes, I think just the pins need a bit of a clean on that one, but that's no big deal. Let's just turn off. We'll spray some gumption in that socket, madam. I still don't think that's the fault though, but this amp is very sick. Very sick indeed. See, if you notice on this side we're getting some noise. If you look at this tube, we're not getting any noise on there, so that's telling me that we're either missing a voltage or one of these coupling caps has gone open. So are those the plate resistors there? What are they? Let's see if we've got a schematic for this amp. But it's very sick. It needs a lot of work to get this amp up and running. And if we look, we just turn off before we start. So if we look, you look inside there, you can see it's very grubby. We've got some very grubby looking resistors. And to be fair, you know, rather than just tracking down this fault, just better off, there's not that many components on that board, better off just taking the board out, its PC boards, and just swapping all the components, cleaning it up, swapping all the components. It's as quick as faffing around checking. I mean, you know, we could find it quickly. It could just be a voltage missing off something, but if you look at the amount of components on there, all the capacitors will be shot, because all those Hunts ones, that's guaranteed, they're rubbish, so they'll all be leaking, guaranteed. The board needs a damn good clean anyway. It's absolutely infested. So by the time you've took all the capacitors out, you're only left with a few resistors, so might as well just change all of those as well. Just take everything out of the board, clean it up, and it's as good as new. We've got a capacitor here, we can see, and that is, what is that? I can't see what that is. 16 plus 32 we've got in there, 16 and a 32. So again, those could be changed. But these plesses here, these will be all over. I've never found one of those yet that isn't, so that we'll have leakage. And then of course we've got this item here. Now the customer, of course, it's whether the customer decides to have this amp restored or not. But we've got to look inside this box and see what's going. I mean, it's working okay. It just needs, you know, the switch needs cleaning and everything. So it does. There's a lot of work needed on this amp. Bearing in mind we've not even opened the main power amp. Although I think the fault we're looking for is obviously on this preamp board. But I think the best thing to do with this is to just shotgun this amp. Now if you also look, there looks like some gumption on the board there, so whether or not that capacitor has leaked, is leaking heavily, it could well be. But that's what I would do if I would, you know, that's what I will recommend for this amp, is just gutting it, and we'll never see it again, because it, you know, it'll be like a new amp. It'll last years. Right, I've got the output chassis out now to have a look at. We just had to have a peek in here, and you can see we've got these Plessy caps again, which aren't very nice. We've got capacitor there, which looks a bit groggy. A couple of Hunts capacitors here, so they'll no doubt be leaking. So I think that socket here is a external speaker socket, because the wires are coming out of the transformer and going along here to this. Yep, that's going to there, and the orange wire there going out is going to the speaker. So I think we're pretty much sure that is connected to the transformer. So that is a external speaker socket, which is very handy. It's also factory. You can tell it's got the red paint on there, as a lot of these things have. And if you look at the, you probably can't see it close in, but the tremolo here is connected to this tube, which I think is the phase inverter, although I'm not 100% sure. I may be speculating. We did think that was the phase inverter, but we really need to see on a schematic. But anyway, the tremolo is connected into that tube there, and that's got the red paint on there. So again, we know that's factory. So that must have been an optional extra, because I've not seen that on any of the on any of the stuff that I've looked at online. So that must have been an optional extra. Most people probably couldn't afford it in those days. Few cobwebs, but all in all, yeah, quite a bit of work needed in there. These caps would have to go. Is that the... Let's try and see if we can find the cathode bypass capacitor. They're grid stoppers, these 4.7 Ks. So this orange wire here must be the cathode, and I can't see where that's going. Ah, now I can see what's happening. So we've got 15K. No, that can't be right, can it? That's way too high. So they must... Where's that going? That's quite hard to see where that's going. Is that going to that cathode? Yes. So there's a black wire coming off that cathode. Where's that going? Need to get some bigger glasses to see that. The wires are really thin as well. Really thin wire. To the... Actually, it doesn't look as thin now. I've put these glasses on. Oh, where's that black wire going? It's going along there to here. So that's the cathode bypass capacitor there. So where's the cathode resistor? Is he buried down there? Well, that's 22K, so that seems a bit high to me for a cathode resistor. Oh, hang on a minute. Cathode here. So that's the cathode resistor. The cathode resistor, cathode bypass capacitor. Yep. And then that goes off. To ground, I think. Yep. So that's a weird resistor, isn't it? That, look at that. I've never seen that. Well, I probably have seen something like that, but I can't remember. It's so long ago. Weird. A weird looking resistor is that. So yeah, and as you start to look in these, you see more and more. So grid stoppers there, pin 2 there, pin 2. These are grid stoppers. Cathode bypass capacitor, cathode resistor. have a look at the state of that main capacitor on there. Looks okay, but what else? So these two will be the coupling caps, I would think, from the phase inverter. Yes, they are, because the grid stoppers are connected to them, so obviously they are. These are 68k, 680k. So those are the grid leaks. Coupling caps, where are they going? So that wire there, yeah, that's up to the phase inverter there, pin 1. So pin 1 of the phase inverter there, purple wire coming down to here on this side. So pin 1 of the phase inverter is feeding this tube. That's the coupling capacitor blocking the DC. Well, probably letting it leak through given that its age. And then the other one, what does that have? Can't see the wire for the other one. Oh, it's linked. Where's pin 6? 987. Pin 6. It's a cathodione then. Might well be. We'll have to look on the schematic. It's looking like it. So there we are. We've looked inside. I think we'll track a schematic down now and have a nosy at that. I mean, as I say, I'm only doing this roughly because you need a schematic to be 100%, but you can trace, you know, given long enough, you can draw these out because they're hand wired. Right, I've got a schematic for this Elpico AC55. This is the Mark II schematic. So we've got the preamp section here. We've got mic 1 coming in there, 470k grid leak, 22k plate resistor. We've got in here, we've got 100 nanofarad coming in, a bit low that, 22k. That really needs increasing for guitar. But anyway, so coming through there, 100 nanofarad, I say 100k, 100 nanofarad. Coming through there into the volume, and then you can see that's going on into the next stage there through that 2.2, going down into the tone stack. And we've got here, and you can see tone stack goes off there a couple of directions. We've got mic 2 here coming off this here again, 100 nanofarad cap here. Coming through there, going into that volume there, mic 2 volume. Then that carries on through there again and gets mixed in. That's what these 470Ks are, mixer resistors. And then we've got gram coming in here again, 500K pop mixer resistor going into this stage, and that goes into the tone stack. 10 nanofarad cap there going to the power amp. Let's have a look. And yes, this is Mark II because there's no actually, is there? Let's have a look. Well, there is there, but some of the Mark IIs I saw didn't have a rectifier tube. But anyway, as has also Mark II has a 12AT7. I have to excuse my voice, still getting over the lurgy. There's a 10 nanofarad cap will be coming into there, and then we're off again through here. Got 100k plate resistor, 10 nanofarad cap going into this stage, out again to here. And if we look, this is a cathodione because the other tube is being fed there, 100 nanofarad, that's being fed from the cathode. So cathodione phase inverter there. We've got the output tubes there. We've got 50 microfarad bypass cap, and we've got 130R, that weird looking resistor. Looked almost Russian, that resistor. 4K7, look, there's the grid leaks we spotted earlier in the video. 680K, look, sorry, grid stoppers there, 4.7K grid stoppers. 680K grid leaks there, which we also spotted. So you can see pretty much we've got some negative feedback there. Yep, got some negative feedback going to that stage there. 1.5k resistor there with a capacitor across there. So yeah, so and that's the power supply. Pretty simple really that, so you don't really need to look at that. So that's just a bit of a rough look at it really. So if we go on here, someone's got one for sale on Reverb, and if we just click on that, we can see there. If we go to the next one, oh, what's happening there? Don't want to go. Oh, there we go. The next one, you can see the back of it there, and obviously this is the green. There we go, and we've got, you can see the mic inputs there. And if we look inside this one, we can see the EL84s. See the phase inverter, and that one is an ECC81. You can see that on the picture. If we just hone in there, you can see that. But there doesn't appear to be a rectifier tube in that one. A much larger transformer there on that one. There's the Hunt's capacitor on the preamp stage. You can see, I think that's the same 32 as 16. Same speaker. Yep, there's the 32 plus 16 on there. Transformer looks different. Serial number. A fitted screw there by Billy Bodger. And then that's just the bottom of the amp there, and that's a very nice collection of amplifiers that gentleman's got, who is selling this. So there we go. So if anybody knows anything about that tremolo unit, because obviously there's nothing I can find online, you know, if any of you use these when you were kids or starting out in bands years and years ago, leave me some information in the comments. In fact, if you know anything about these amps or you've owned one, also leave that in the comments as well. That would be greatly appreciated. So we've done the assessment, so we'll just wait and see now what the customer wants to do. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye bye for now.